Sons Pub, and every corner is a Concentra Bank corner. Tonight's starting lineup for your TSS Rovers. At striker, number 16, Conor Mcmillan. Forward, David Malamira. Number 10, Matteo Polisi. Forward, Conor Glenn.
Leonard, get her done.
In the midfield, Mark Polisi ball. Number 8, Marcello Polisi. Number 3, Jordan Haynes. Number 19, Ellie Pingo. Number 17, Daniel Smichenko. Number 4, Eric DeGraff. Tonight's keeper, number 1, Luciano Trazzolini. The Rovers are coached by Bill Cromack and Adam Day. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the anthems of the United States of America and Canada.
Rovers that started well. Last was by Conor Mcmillan. Rovers German Josh. They Lane United 2-0 in that one. Second half, they were able to get by in a big shutout as well for Luciano Trazzolini. We'll talk to him throughout the broadcast. I'm in Hill, joined shortly by Mike McCall, who is down the pitch doing some media-related things. He'll be up shortly. As the Timbers U23, always a formidable force for the TSS Rovers play. That's about on a Friday night. First of two games this weekend for the both teams actually go to Island on Sunday to play the Highlanders. Stay home on Sunday to play the Calgary Foothills, the champions of last year's USL League 2. Starting for the Timbers this evening in goal, number 0, Austin Rogers. He picks up the number 1 shirt in goal after Jordan Farr has moved on to the USL with Indy 11. Gerardo Lopez, number 26, number 13, Jesse Martin, number 33, Simon Fitch start along the back line. What may be a 3-4-3. We'll wait to see what head coach of the Portland Timbers U23, Aaron Lewis, puts out. Michael Barrow, number 5, Crystal Michelson, number 18, and number 11, Rocco Persa start with number 2, Tulia Mello, in the midfield 4. And then up front, number 32, Sebastian Horetz, number 94, Bertrand Fourier, and number 23, Lucas Bueno. And for the Rovers in the red, all red tonight, Luciano Trasolini, as mentioned, number 4, Eric DeGraff, number 17, Danilo Smitchenko, number 17, Eli Jindo, and Jordan Haynes, left back, number 3, rather Smitchenko, number 17, Eli Jindo, number 19. In the midfield, Mark Ballissimo, number 5, starts after playing in a center back role last week. He'll move up to play in the midfield with number 21, Marcelo Polisi, one of the 2 Polisis in this lineup. Matteo Polisi, the other brother, starts in the midfield number 10 spot with Conor Glenn to his right, David Malamura to his left after getting 2 assists last week, and we'll talk about him throughout the broadcast, as well as Conor Mcmillan wearing the number 16 shirt as the striker for the Rovers in this game this evening. Not normally a stature for a hold-up striker, but he did well in that role last weekend, and we'll see what he can do in this one. The Rovers 5 days removed after playing on Sunday against Lane United, looking to make it 2 wins in a row to start the season, something that they have not done in their previous 2 years as part of the USL League 2, a revamped USL League 2 after being the USL PDL last year. May have confused some people with the name change, but it is a new regime throughout USL, going to League 1, League 2, a tiered system. As the Rovers kick off against the Timbers on a Friday night, the Rovers, as mentioned, in the all-red kit, the Timbers in the green shirts, white shorts, green socks, as per normal. As Conor Glenn is set to kick off at halfway, a beautiful pitch here at Swangard, 17 degrees at kickoff, and we are underway in the Rovers' second home game of the year against Portland Timbers U23 as Eli Jindo controls the ball inside his own half, trying to find Jordan Haynes and Bertrand Fourier, who already limping for the Timbers here. As Marcelo Polisi gets the ball inside his own half, number 8. He'll be opposed by a familiar foe for him. Number 18 in the Timbers midfield, Crystal Michelson. There's an early turnover from Trasolini. This ball falls for Horet. He'll whip into the box. The header flicked on back post. Chance for Bueno, and he just was not able to get a clear touch on the ball. That one rolls out for a goal kick for the Rovers early on. 30 seconds in here at Swangard Stadium. As Trasolini goes way out of his 6-yard box to take it, but it was a free kick, not a goal kick. Trasolini to the near side. Horet, again, there are a couple early turnovers. This one falls for Fourier in a good position. He'll put it back across goal and just missing the foot of the striker up there. That was Horet, who was sliding down to get it. And just out of his reach, and it's going to be a goal kick now for the Rovers after the Timbers missed an early chance there. Rovers untidy at the back, allowing the Timbers to make some good chances here, creating some good chances early on at Swangard.
Starting off very similar to the game on Sunday, where Lane came out all guns blazing in the first 5-10 minutes. TSS under a lot of pressure, held on though, then regrouped and really came into this game.
Luciano Trasolini, the goalkeeper for the Rovers, taking over the shirt from Andrew Hicks. And USL save of the week is here's Fourier in behind the defense. Fourier stopped by Trasolini again, making a good save for the Rovers early on after winning USL League 2 Save of the Week honors in that 45-second into the match save on Sunday against Lane that really set the tone for the Rovers in that one, as Trasolini picked up a clean sheet in his first game.
That wasn't even his best save on Sunday as well. Really surprised that was the one that ended up getting nominated, but another great save there. You wouldn't be surprised to find him nominated for Save of the Week there. Really poor play though defensively by TSS to let him run in on goal there.
Thrown on the far side, just in front of the seating there, directly at halfway. Nice viewpoint for some soccer fans here taking the action on Friday. Here's Rogers, as mentioned, takes over the kit from Jordan Farr, the bright neon green keeper kit. Really stands out as here's Tulio Mello trying to get by Conor Glenn. That's David Malamura, rather. Now Jordan Haynes just inside halfway, looking over the top for Mcmillan, gets the ball at his feet, leaves it off for David Malamura. Sneaking in from this near sideline onto his left foot, plays it low, trying to roll it for Matteo Polisi. It's intercepted by the Timbers, and here comes Rocco Persa. Steps by Conor Glenn. Now it's back from Timbers left back Simon Fitch. And controlled by Gerardo Lopez, one of 7 returnees from the Timbers U23 last year. One of the notable ones from 2 years ago, Crystal Michelson returns as well. We're in the number 18 with those flowing locks.
Hard to miss.
Challenged by Conor Mcmillan there. Michelson, you'll remember, moved on to the Reno FC last year of the USL and did not appear in a single minute of action, but he's back with the Timbers U23 this year. Timbers team that is always producing top talent. Had 5 players drafted in the MLS draft this past year. 2 of them appearing in MLS action already this year. Siad Haji with the San Jose Earthquakes and Benji Michel with the Orlando City.
I do remember Mickelson and the Polices having a few fun exchanges, so I look forward to some more of that tonight.
2017 season, I think it was the second meeting of the year between the Timbers and the Rovers, and Marcelo Polisi and Crystal Michelson both got sent off in that game that ended in a draw. As here comes Conor Glenn, a nice switch from the Rovers in the 18-yard box, trying to thread it through the legs of the closing down Timbers player. And good job of the Timbers to negate that attack from the Rovers.
Already TSS look like they've kind of settled in a little bit. It's a new centre-back pairing after the game on Sunday as well. Eli Guindo and Danilo Shmachenko, teammates at Reno's Tigers in the VMSL, although Shmachenko has been playing as left-back there.
Eli Guindo, a former Trinity Western University Spartan, 5 years there, 1 year with the Victoria Highlanders back in 2017. I actually remember him being a kind of a pest for the Rovers in that game when he played for the Highlanders that year.
Yes, striker turned centre-back, although he did play when he was 15 years old as a centre-back, so he then made the switch in college to striker. Chance for him to make it in the pros. He feels his best as centre-back.
Haynes with a nice move in left wing, gets past Mello. Haynes into the area on his left foot, plays it across goal. That one headed up in the air by Gerardo Lopez. That one will drop down for Glennon with a nice touch. Just eluded him, though, after the ball bounced in the nice-looking grass and pitch here at Swangard. Mark Baulissimo, nice touch out wide to Mcmillan. Threads it through for Glennon into the area. That one's headed away by Mello. Falls for Polisi just outside the 18. Nice touch, though, by Persa, but he lost it. Here's Mcmillan again. Intercepted by Michelson with a nice sliding tackle, and now Persa. He'll try to play to the near side for Herret. Nice step in by Eli Guindo. And the Timbers will just have to throw it to halfway. Baldissimo. Glennon. Nicely done to Marcelo Polisi. Switched from the number 21 to the number 8 shirt this year in hopes of being minimally noticed by the other teams, I'm sure. New hairstyle as well for the new season. Here's Glennon. Nice little move past a couple of Portland Timbers. Glennon coming off a outstanding season in SFU, an SFU team that, again, unable to win the championship in their division, but lots of players having career years for them sprinkled throughout this TSS FC Rovers roster. Here's Haynes. Rolls it to Polisi. Mello got a foot in there. Polisi goes down with the referee's whistle, stays in his pocket. As Fourier taken out, and the whistle will now be blown as the play was not moving forward. Bertrand Fourier, the number 94 for the Timbers, the striker here, might pose a threat for the TSS Rovers' smaller center back. That is Danilo Shmachenko, but Eli Guindo, the same stature as Fourier, so I'm sure it'll be no sweat for the veteran center back of the Canada West and USL League 2.
Fourier already looks a right handful up front for Portland. Hard to really know what to expect with Portland every season. It's like they go through so many players. Some of the players aren't able to travel over the border just due to visa and passport issues. So because of that, it's an advantage to the Canadian teams, but it's also a disadvantage because it's really hard to prepare for the game. And with this being the Timbers' first game of the season as well, you've 3 pre-season games to base it on, but even that's not really a lot of help. Will Cromac's going to have done his homework on what he can anyway.
Yeah, Portland team that went undefeated in preseason 3-0, beating PDX in one of those games 3-0. So big shutout for them and a team that, again, a little bit of turnover with the 7 returnees from last year. But of note, getting Crystal Michelson back from 2 years ago will really help them. This will be his 3rd year with the Timbers U23 after playing in 2016 and 2017. Only 4 games in 2016. But a big piece in that midfield. This ball played to Rocco Persa inside the Timbers half in the green, trying to play it to a team, and that one goes off Jesse Martin for a throw on that far side. He was listed as number 13 in the roster, but I believe he is number 14. It's the ball in the throw in here. Martin finds Simon Fitch. Now Gerardo Lopez looks to be the center back in a 3-5-2 for this one, not a 3-4-3. As here is Herret. Lost the ball to David Malmur. Nice touch on the left side for Haynes. He'll roll it into midfield for Polisi. Here come the Rovers. Polisi with a nice little step on by Mello, carrying on. Could not find Jordan Haynes as the Timbers collect. Tourette, nice move past Marcelo Polisi. Over the top to Fourier. That one hits his back, and that will go for a Rovers throw. If you're tuning in just now, Gideon Hill, Michael McCall with you, and I'm sure you were used to the two heavily accented gentlemen calling the game last weekend as I was away, but good to be back with Michael for another season of TSS Soccer. And a big opportunity for the Rovers to continue on the success of Game 1. Still 13 more games to go, including this one in the USL League 2 season.
As always, if you want to get in touch with us during the broadcast, send us a tweet on AFTN Canada on Twitter or at _Gideon Hill.
Here come the Rovers in a counter-attack. It's a 4v4 as Polisi plays out in third to Mallamura with the pace. Mello takes him out. A tackle there, but the ball will roll out for a Timbers throw. Looked like went off Mello either way. Mallamura, his pace really noticeable on this early going here as 9 minutes gone from Swangard. Nice little ball played through from Matteo Polisi, pulling the strings. Second in Rovers scoring overall last season. As the Timbers could have thrown this near side through Tulio Mello.
David Mallamura really impressed in the season opener on Sunday. 2 assists for the Croatia SC man. Won a VMSL championship this season, looking to build on that. Decided to have another go at being a pro. Went over to Germany for a season and a half, really a year and a half in 2013, 2014. Hard to break through over there when you're a young Canadian kid. Opportunities just were not there when he was looking to go into it. Still only 25 though, and has hopes that playing for TSS the year, as all these guys do, is going to get noticed in the CPL. Maybe you wouldn't even be surprised to see a few of these guys that we're seeing leave before the season's out.
David Mallamura, part of a very skilled soccer family. His other brother Mark has played throughout soccer in BC, and well, his brother Johnny, who I played with in school, very talented player as well.
Mark Mallamura almost on the TSS Rovers roster this year. Unfortunately, work commitments kept him away from that. So we could have had Polisi brothers and Mallamura brothers.
That would have been a nightmare for me every game. This one played through for Conor Mcmillan. Flag stays down. He's in behind. Mcmillan, nice touch on his left foot. He'll stop up and turn again. Mcmillan carries onto the byline. Cross in the box. Ball post for Glennon, who couldn't slide it home. Somehow the ball stayed out. And what an opportunity for the Rovers there. What a play by Mcmillan. Crafty with his left foot there, playing into the area. Glennon unmarked, couldn't slide it home. McMillan leaves it for Haynes on this near side. He'll whip one into the area. That one up in the air for goalkeeper Austin Rogers.
Great defensive play by Portland there to keep that one out. You just thought as soon as he hit it, it was going to end up in the back of the net, but he just aimed for the far corner, and unfortunately that's where the massive bodies were.
Glennon did everything right in that circumstance, and a good job of the Timbers to kind of pour a couple bodies in the line as well. Matteo Polisi was on the line. We'll have to see the replay there. I think it hit him. Either way, the Rovers unable to put the ball in the back of the net, not for lack of trying.
Yeah, I think it was Matteo Polisi on the line. He just couldn't get himself up and get the ball out of his feet to try and poke it home.
Jordan Haynes, a former Whitecaps 2 left back, as well as OKC Energy U23s.
Just seen the replay now of that chance. Sliding in there by Glennon, and yep. Matteo Polisi, unfortunately in the wrong spot, unable to get himself up. Blocked by Jesse Martin there on the goal line for Portland.
Here's Smitchenko. That one off the foot of the right back, Eric DeGraff, who looks to get a full season under his belt after having injury-shortened campaign in 2017. A much better one last year with a goal and an assist, scoring against the Victoria Highlanders in a May battle, a hot one at Centennial Stadium in Victoria.
A fantastic season he had as well for SFU Clan.
Same could be said about all the players in that SFU team. Just a wonderful team that likes to play the ball around and scoring a lot as well in bunches, normally sometimes scoring 6 or 7 a match and shutting out the opposition. And Luciano Trasolini has to do with a lot of that as he was the main keeper at SFU last year. Here's Matteo Polisi quickly ahead to Conor Glenn on the right wing, trying to play it ahead to McMillan. That one eludes him and finds Gerardo Lopez. Smacks it to center. And here is Herretz. Rolls it back to Michelson. He'll chip that one over the top. Eli Guindo has a step on Herret, and he'll control it. And a little step over. He'll try and play it to Haynes. First ahead of Michelson. Haynes, a big get for the Rovers. One of those experienced guys you'd like to have on this roster. It's been all over the USL. All 2 divisions, actually. All 3, I guess you could say.
Yeah, 2 seasons with the Whitecaps in with WFC2 in the what used to just be the USL.
Glenn, a nice touch on there from Mark Parlismo winning the tackle. McMillan at halfway. Rolls it back on his left foot, finds Matteo Polisi. Good overlapping run from David Malmore on the left, whips into the far side. Glennon has to retreat, rather that's Eric DeGraff with a high run on the right side. Mark Baldissimo to Marcelo Polisi. That combination midfield will be very interesting. Baldissimo, another talented family with brother Michael and Matthew signed to contracts with Pacific and the Whitecaps.
First corner of the night now coming up for TSS Rovers. Very entertaining first 14 minutes of this one. End-to-end stuff. Hardly time to catch your breath there. Very similar to Sunday's game. The visitors come out all guns blazing, trying to get something in the first 5 minutes, and then slowly TSS start to take over. Going to look to see if Marcello Polisi can swing one in here. Some big men in the box this week.
Here's Polisi's right foot of delivery, whips it in, flicked on. Far post by McMillan. That one's up in the air, grabbed by Rogers. Not much in that one, of the header by Rover into the hands of Rogers comfortably.
When you've got Eli Guindo going up for those set pieces, it's a big attacking threat for TSS. As we said, striker turned centre-back. He was a very prolific striker when he played for Langley United out in the Fraser Valley League.
Glennon flicks into midfield for Marcelo Polisi. Head over the top looking for a chance for Polisi behind that one. Struck well by Glennon, but into the hands of Austin Rogers. Conor Glenn, noticeable in this one, was not a starter last year with the Rovers as Shambusho and Verhoeven. Well, Shambusho didn't play last year, but Verhoeven really took up that right wing spot most of the year.
Yeah, Glennon's coming off such a strong clan season, as you mentioned, and missed the season opener. He was away playing in the Provincial Cup final for Reno's Tigers, unfortunately losing out in that one 4-1, as was Eli Guindo and Danilo Shmachenko.
Those are the three players coming in, all three changes for the Rovers. Guindo, Glennon, as well as Shmachenko. And a makeshift backline last week for the Rovers that worked out well as this one over the top again to McMillan, who's gone in behind a couple times dangerously for the Rovers. Conor Glenn working into the area of the Timbers, lays it off beautifully for Baldissimo. Thought about an attempt from distance, but plays it to Haynes instead. Haynes floated ball into the area. Chance for a jump header. Drops down for DeGraff. He'll lay it off instead for McMillan, who shoots, blocked in front by Lopez. Now back for Baldissimo, shoots, blocked again. Rovers can't get much going on net here in the last couple minutes. Nice move by Rocco Persa. Good step in by Baldissimo. One back to Marcelo Polisi. Couldn't get it to the near side, though, for Matteo Polisi, and it drops down for Baldissimo. Marcelo Polisi, good overlapping run again from DeGraff. Polisi instead goes to Conor Glenn. The SFU connection here proving fruitful for the Rovers in that right side of midfield. Marcelo Polisi back to Jordan Haynes, who was actually a defensive midfielder last week as Guerrero stepped in. As Haynes gets taken out, but Rovers keep possession. Just as I say that, Fourier picks it up. Rocco Persa. Timbers want to go the other way here with the possession, the green-shirted Timbers. Fitch to Martin, back to Fitch. Timbers changed their numbers in the traveling roster, so a little bit of confusion here, but I think we have it figured out now. Here's Persa. That left foot turns back. Closed down quickly by Marcelo Polisi, who doesn't tend to give an inch to anybody. Lopez. Haynes header forward. Oh, just over the head of David Malamur, who will challenge with Michelson here. He gets there first. Over the top from Lopez. Fourier didn't have the positioning there. The Rovers will collect and play it back to Luciano Trasolini. Hit Fourier with a pass, though, and he'll have to control it here for the Timbers. Just to the left of the 18 of the Rovers. Here is Horetna's right foot. Shot blocked by Guindo, and he'll clear. Only as far as a Timber. That one in midfield. Good challenge by Matteo Polisi.
Flags up for offside. Uncharacteristic giveaway there from Luciano Trasolini. Don't see him make many mistakes in matches, but the Rovers defence, they can't afford to be sloppy, especially in their own box, because there's some really dangerous players out there for the Timbers that you know are going to pounce on any half chance that they get.
Speaking to Will Cromack before the game about the Rovers attacking this season, not a tall stature team by any stretch of the imagination, more of a play the ball at the feet kind of attacking corpses. A foul at halfway. Fourier took out Marcelo Polisi. But you saw in the first chance of the game for the Rovers, and really the best chance they've had was across into the area that caused problems. So Will Cromack might say one thing, the Rovers might play another way. So it'll be interesting to see the way the goals come this year for TSS.
Certainly doesn't strike you as a team that's going to be dominant in the air, let's just say.
On corners, it might, because Eli Gindo will be up there. But
yeah, he's really their main attacking threat. Riley Pang as well, who's on the bench tonight, likely to feature as a starter, I would think, in Sunday's game. I think we'll see a lot of rotation for the game coming on Sunday.
A couple of times the Rovers played those Friday Sunday games. Nice touch from McMillan to the Eric Glennon. Lays it square. Here's Palisi. Just eluded him as he'll find Malamura once again. That dangerous left foot cuts past a couple of Timbers. And again, Malamura carrying on to the byline. He'll play it in. Don't think that one hit him, and it did. And a good call by the referee here at halfway. We're just outside the 18, giving it a Rovers, or TSS. Away from TSS, the goal kick for the Timbers, pardon me. Still shaking off that off-season rust. Just about 19 minutes gone here at Swangard Stadium. 0-0 between the TSS Rovers and the Portland Timbers. On a beautiful, cool night at Swangard. Not too hot, not too cold as the sun starts to set here in the lower mainland.
A Goldilocks kind of evening, you could even say.
Gindo with a good battle at 4. That'll be a fun one to watch for the remainder of this match here. As Eli Gindo finds Danilo Smichenko. Again, the Rovers not good in possession as here comes Fourier behind the defense, and Smichenko. Fourier on side, left-footed shot, just puts it wide as Trasolini came out to challenge. That one hits the Swangardians there. And it'll be a goal kick for Luciano Trasolini.
Horrible defending there. Cheap giveaway there from Eric de Graaf, and Smichenko just could not get the right side there of Fourier, who's a strong, bustling attacker. He's really hard to get off the ball, as you saw there. Had the beating of Smichenko, and that's something that you think Portland will see that, and they're going to want to have Fourier running at Smichenko, because that's a battle the Ukrainian's going to have a tough task winning. I feel he should have done better with the shot there. That really should have been put away.
Yeah. A couple of times Fourier's been in behind and he hasn't been able to put the shot on target. One time Trasolini did make the save, but of his other two opportunities for Fourier, just could not put one on net. Baldissimo finds Marcelo Palisi. Nice ball ahead to Malamura. He won't get there as that one rolling unkindly out of play. Throw in here on the near side for the Timbers. U23, as mentioned, 5 players drafted in the MLS draft this past year. 2 of them have already appeared in the MLS, and always a team, a couple in USL2 that really like to produce players straight to the MLS level. Of note, when it comes to my New York Red Bulls, U23 as well.
Timbers lost a lot of players even before the end of last season. Overall, they went through 39 players, 5 goalkeepers, which is just crazy. Hard to get any real consistency in that, and the team did struggle last season after winning the division in 2017.
Here's McMillan at halfway, finds Jordan Haynes. Malamura, nice touch again from McMillan, is just drifting right to left here, causing problems for the Timbers. Ahead to Malamura, and Gerardo Lopez steps in, clears it, but that's a throw-in for TSS on this near side to the right of goalkeeper for the Timbers, Austin Rogers.
One of the main constants, though, for Portland is their coaching staff. So they have played the same kind of style for the last 3 seasons. It's just different personnel that's out there.
Normally, you see a 4-2-3-1 if the personnel allows for the TSS Rovers, and the way they play very compact.
Another giveaway there, but one back well there by Marcello Palisi.
A little bit of a tackle there by Michelson as him and Marcelo Palisi come together. Glenn it out wide to Eric de Graaf again, seeking down that right wing. That one hit a couple of Timbers and rolls back to Glenn. He'll try another one. It hits Martin again, and a throw-in coming for the Timbers, or for the TSS Rovers here, just in front of the linesman, that far touch line.
Almost up to the halfway mark of this half. It's flown by so far. Very entertaining half of football. Hope you're enjoying this at home wherever you are.
Glenn back to de Graaf. He'll whip that one in right to the foot of Sebastian Hurad as he plays it over the top. Eli Gindo will get back there for it. And you mentioned, Michael, uncharacteristic, awkward ball-playing center back here or ball-playing area for Eli Gindo here as he's turned the ball over a couple times. Normally played with Joel Waterman in midfield at Trinity Western, as well as being a center back there. So used to playing with a midfielder that plays the ball a lot, but Gindo just a couple of times here giving the ball away as the Rovers bring it ahead. Here's Marcelo Palisi to Conor Glenn on top of the area. What can he do here? Glenn into the air, step over, what a play. Glenn carries on, he'll shoot, blocked by Michelson as it falls outside again for Palisi. Gets past another Timber trying to play it back post, and that one deflected for a corner. Christo Michelson been very good so far for the Timbers. He's been everywhere trying to negate these Rovers attacks, and he's done pretty well.
TSS looking for a handball there. Conor Mcmillan adamant that was a handball. We'll just see the replay again. Great work from McMillan. Didn't give up on that one. Didn't see anything there that looked like a
Clicked
handball.
on by Gino, just past Matteo Polisi. He stays there and cleared it by the Timbers. Is it the foot race between Mark Baldissimo, and he'll win it ahead of Sebastian Herret.
Mark Baldissimo played a makeshift centre-back role on Sunday, was absolutely outstanding. He was really in the frame for man of the match. Normally defensive midfielder, which we're seeing from him tonight, but he just looked so comfortable back there with Owen McBride. I have to think Sunday we are likely to see Owen McBride and Riley Pang. I thought Riley Pang may get the start tonight beside Eli Guindo, but maybe going for a little bit of understanding was the hope between Shmedchenko and Guindo from their VMSL time together. Haven't seen a lot of it so far, I have to say.
You mentioned the rotation will be, I'm sure, in full-fledged on Sunday. We've seen times before the Rovers have played a Friday-Sunday split like we're seeing. There's been 4, 5, 6 changes on the Sunday compared to the Friday, and still getting results. We saw a couple times last year where the Rovers were able to sneak in a win or a draw on a second game in 3 days opportunity.
At least they have no travel, which is a big boost.
Malamura, midfield, good tackle by Michelson. Timbers' chance to break here as it's played to Rocco Persa. Intercepted by Malamura after turnover initially, trying to find Matteo Polisi. Comes back to him, left-footed ball. Seeks through for Malamura. He'll get the touch there first ahead of the keeper, taken down. But Austin Rogers, who now goes down holding his head as him and Malamura come together. The referee will blow the whistles. Another Timbers player down here. Yeah. Bertrand Fourier in the far side. So bodies down here at a true rivalry match at Swangard Stadium.
Fourier has not moved since he went down there, not rolling about or anything. He kind of went down, the ball went away. I think he slipped a little bit on the pitch. Always worry when you see a player go down when it's not really from a contact injury. The pitch is going to be very wet. It's been weird weather. It was raining overnight. It was raining a little bit on and off today as well. A beautiful pitch on Swangard though, and Fourier getting some treatment. The goalkeeper looks to be okay. No malice in there from Malamura. He has to go for the ball.
Yeah, and he got a touch in as well.
Yeah, I don't even think he left his foot in there at all. And a little shake of the hands there between the keeper and Malamura, who has got up himself with a little bit of a limp. Hopefully he can just run that off. And Fourier getting helped off now on the far side of the pitch. Haven't had an indication if he's coming back on, which would make you think he is more likely to be. Still getting a little bit of treatment on the far touchline as the players take a refreshment break. That's going to be a drop ball, hopefully a contested drop ball, because there's nothing I like to see more in a game of football than a contested drop ball, but this is not going to be one of them. Matteo Polisi for me in a contested drop ball would just be very fun to watch. Him and Michelson, that's what I want.
There'd be lots of feet left in, I'm sure, if that was going to happen. Rogers throws it to Jesse Martin as the Timbers, both teams being very careful here, trying to play the ball out of the back, but there's been quite a few mistakes early on. Here's Gerardo Lopez. Throws it to Herret, but he lost it.
Fourier looks as if he is going to be good to come back on. Just waiting for the indication from the referee that he can do so. He is holding his ribs though, but it does look like he's going to come on and give it a shot.
Eric de Graaf, the ball over the top. He'll get there first. Whips it in off the head of a defender of the Timbers right there. That was Mikey Barrow who got there. And it's a corner kick upcoming for the Rovers. Minute number 26, approaching the 27th here from Swangard. A beautiful day, beautiful night for soccer here. Rovers do it again on Sunday at 2 against the Calgary Foothills. That'll be another tough test. Rovers get two tough tests right out of the gate here, and that's what you want to see in a team that struggled at times against teams that weren't playing the best last year.
You want to get these home points on the board and a chance here to take the lead.
Haynes, left-footed ball in the air, flicked on by McMillan, back to him, and cleared by Michelson. Rovers 2 3-game homestands this season, and you feel like getting at least 6 points out of those 3 at home in both segments would be crucial to their success. A team that was at times top of the league or top of the division last season, beating the Calgary Foothills last year. The only team to beat them in USL League 2 play last year. Daniel Sagno getting 2 in that victory before losing 1-0 to them a couple weeks later. Here's Jordan Haynes, first of 2 meetings on the year against the Timbers for the Rovers. The first of 3. Only one here at Swangard, though. Here's Malamura down the left wing. Rips it in off the foot of Lopez and out here. Gerardo Lopez looks very good. A returning player for the Timbers, wearing the number 26 shirt shown on your screen there. McMillan finds Haynes, taken down by Herret. Free kick for the Rovers. First one inside the Timbers half so far. So see if they can whip a ball in here to the area and make something out of it. Couple of half chances for either side that have gone awry. Bertrand Foray, well saved by Traslini a few minutes in. And then Glennon flicking one on. This one's played on by McMillan and it cleared away. Another corner for the Rovers, their third of the game. As McMillan thought about playing it quickly, he'll leave it for Marcelo Polisi instead. That dangerous right foot, the in-swinger. He'll rip it in a high one there, just in the keeper. Rogers got a palm to it in the area for Jindo, who scores!
Eli Jindo, we talked about the threat he brings in the air at these set pieces, and you saw it there. Get his head on that. What a debut for Eli Jindo. We'll see the replay of that. Some of the set piece delivery on Sunday was a little bit lacking, but this time Marcello Polisi gets the ball high into the box, into the back post. Poor punch there from Rogers. It falls right onto the head of Eli Jindo, and I don't think he's going to get an easier goal than that at all this season. Just had to connect with it into the back of the net. 30th minute, 1-0 TSS Rovers, and the smoke is going off from the Swangarians behind Luciano Trasolini's goal.
Goal scored at the 29th minute, as you mentioned. What a debut for Eli Jindo. And I'm glad we talked about it, Michael, because we mentioned the fact of him being up there for set pieces would do dividends for the Rovers, and he gets on the end of a loose ball in the area, heads it past Austin Rogers, and probably will not have an easier goal. And the Rovers here get possession in the offensive area. Here comes Malamura. Down the right side, cuts it back. At least he tried to past Martin. It'll be another corner kick for the Rovers, their fourth, after scoring on the previous one. Corner coming in for the Rovers here. As I mentioned, their fourth. It'll be to the left of Rogers here. Haynes once again comes over to take it on the left foot. As referee trying to break up here, Matteo Polisi and Rocco Persa. And Haynes will come over to take it.
Looking for another great delivery here. That was one of the best corners we've seen from TSS in these first game and a half.
Huge moment for Eli Jindo.
I don't think anyone's now going to be unaware of the threat he is at these set pieces.
Jindo, top of the area, he'll run into this one, I'm sure, as he did last time. Just Smachenko in there as well. Here's a delivery from Haynes. High riser, Mickelson gets ahead to it. Still there, Jindo causing problems. Michelson will clear it again here, as it'll be a throw-in for the Rovers on that far side. Again, TSS proving dangerous with those set pieces.
Funnily enough, got a feature interview coming up on AFTN tomorrow with Eli Jindo. Going to have to update it now and get a little bit from him after the game about that debut goal. It's an interesting piece. Check it out on aftn.ca. He's just talking about his decision to make the move from striker to centre-back. He was on trial with Pacific FC earlier this season, and he's talking a little bit about that and what he feels he needs to work on to make it in the pro game. One of the things I feel was lacking from him watching him play in the VMSL this season was his goals. He got one in his debut for Renus Tigers in the first game of the season, much like tonight. But then after that, he seemed to be more focused on just getting the defensive part of his game correct. And he's a guy that he can be such a beast that, don't want to compare too much to other players we've seen in Vancouver, but you see what Kendall Waston is like at set pieces when things came in when he was with the Whitecaps and with Costa Rica. Eli Jindo has definitely got that in his locker, and if he can just work on some of the defensive side of the game, his recovery play in particular is something he wants to work on.
Here's Herret working on the far side. Smachenko gets a foot in. Jindo, good position. Instead he leaves it for Trasolini, cleared in the area by Haynes, or rather.
He must have heard a shout there, but that was dangerous. If he didn't hear a shout, you cannot leave a ball going across goal. That's some of the defensive stuff we're talking he needs to work on.
McMillan finds Matteo Polisi, good overlapping run from DeGraff on the right side. Malamar making it out of the air, played it in towards Glenn and drops back down to Mark Baldissimo. Nice touch onto his left foot, leaves it off for Matteo Polisi. Now back for a rover in midfield to McMillan. Marcelo Polisi to Guindo has that early goal for the Rovers in the 29th minute, or the first goal of the game. Wasn't early by any stretch of the imagination, but it was in the 29th minute, and the Rovers have a lead regardless. Slid it into midfield by a Timber, but it's recovered by Mark Baldissimo. Marcelo Polisi gets it back to Mcmillan, making moves here to the right side. Mcmillan plays it into the area, just out of the reach of a couple of Rovers there, as Glennon was in the right position, but the Timbers somehow knocked the ball out of play. But they do get the throw in, so it must have went off Mcmillan's foot as he's limping now. Keep an eye on him, the number 16 for the Rovers. Has been dangerous early on, scoring the USL League 2 goal of the week last week. Of all 64 teams in USL League 2, quite an accomplishment. And what a cracker it was. Michael with a great call on that one on the stream.
Lovely turn and finish from Conor Mcmillan on that goal. I think every time a TSS guy does get nominated this year, he's got a good chance of winning it because the fan base is just so passionate about this club. It's much like when Atlanta or Portland get nominated for anything in MLS.
Haynes gets that one out, throwing up coming here for the Portland Timbers. Tulio Mello finds Rocco Persa. Good job by Polisi tracking back again here. Tried to find Mcmillan, just a little bit too slow in the distribution. And the Timbers recover. Michelson. Martin keeps that one just inside the touchline. Rolls it to a teammate in midfield. That was Simon Fitch. Now ball played through again for Mcmillan. He might be in behind here. Mcmillan has Malamara to his left and acres of space. Mcmillan carries on himself. Mcmillan shoots just wide off the hands of the keeper, Austin Rogers, and corner number 5 coming up here for the Rovers. But man, oh man, are they dangerous in the counterattack, Michael.
That looked really dangerous, as you said. I feel he held on to it a little bit too long. The pass inside to Malamura was just asking to be had. But, I mean, a striker coming off a goal, you want him to have confidence. If he got another one there, he certainly would have had it. But I didn't fancy his chance of getting it in, but poor goalkeeping there by Austin Rogers to let that even get away. He should have that held and not give away a corner.
10 minutes to go before halftime. Corner number 5 for the Rovers, whipped in by Marcelo Polisi, and Rogers again gets ahead to it. Smichenko up there as well, bouncing around the area. Still there for Smichenko, puts it just wide in the half volley.
Another corner coming up now for TSS.
Number 6, and again, it would have been something if Smichenko, the other centre back, could have gotten a goal there after Guindo got the opener.
It was going to be a replica of what we just saw for the first goal there, just a different player. But I don't know if it's his son or what is going on, but Austin Rogers is struggling with these balls.
Rovers tend to delegate this side, and there's a header just wide of the goal off of Timber, corner number 7.
Corner here, the pressure getting turned up to max.
Rovers opt to elect the other team to take this side of the field when they have this later games at home, so the sun is usually in the eyes of the keeper.
No hat for the keeper either.
Marcelo Polisi whips it in, back post, punched away by Rogers, but there was a foul in the area, so Rovers...
It's a penalty.
Rovers gifted a penalty here. A little bit of a miscommunication in between the Timbers back line. And
need to see that again. Did not see what happened at all. So busy watching the ball coming in, you just see Marcelo Polisi sing another beautiful ball at the back post. And, oh yeah, Matteo Polisi going down. Must have been, the referee was obviously watching it the whole way along there.
So after 3 straight corner kicks for the Rovers, they get a penalty kick, and it'll be Matteo Polisi stepping up for the TSS Rovers. 36 minutes. Matteo Polisi to take. Delivers it in and scores! Rovers lead 2-0 and a massive goal by Matteo Polisi, first of the year. And a big lead for the TSS FC Rovers over the Timbers, 2-0. 37 minutes played here at Swangard on a Friday night, and a big one for the home side as they have a little dance in front of the touchline. Timbers 0, Rovers 2 here at Swangard. And a big goal from Matteo Polisi after having 3 last year. Sneaks it past Austin Rogers.
Thought Rogers was going to get that, went right down the middle.
And Polisi with the Panenka, that'll make storylines, I'm sure, off AFTN.ca. Sneaks it home past Rogers, and it's a 2-0
Not a
Rovers
very
lead.
well taken Panenka. That was a horrible Panenka, and he's lucky that went in. But hey, it all counts. As long as it hits the back of the net, it doesn't matter how it gets there. That's the confidence that Matteo Polisi's got, coming off a 19-goal season with SFU Clan. We talked a little bit about this on Sunday. So many people thought Matteo Polisi would be a lock to join the CPL. The problem though with the CPL is a lot of the clubs have spent their money on some big name players. Pacific FC, for example, a lot of money spent on Marcel de Jong, who then goes down injured, not leaving a lot of the budget left in quite a small salary capped league. So to tempt a guy like Matteo Polisi out of 2 more years scholarship at college, it would have to be a really good deal, and didn't seem that any of those was forthcoming. I think he made the right decision of giving another go with TSS, showing clubs exactly what he is worth, and then if he wants to go back for SFU and try and win a championship with SFU, he's always got that to do as well. TSS though, completely taken over this game now. Portland easily could have been 3 goals up before TSS got on the board. A couple of big stops by Luciano Trasolini, but more so a couple of poor finishes by the Timbers. Well, that one that Bertrand Fourier was running in, put wide, he's going to be looking back on that and just thinking, what if, what if?
If the Rovers are to play like they have the last 2 games in 10 minutes, they will be costly for them, as there's a number of teams in this USL League 2, Calgary and Seattle of note, that could do it to you in the first couple minutes of the game. We've seen that before where Calgary scored a couple minutes in last year and the Rovers are just conceded early, and often if they start like that, but thankfully for Rovers, Trasolini in the back line were able to sort out their issues, and they have a 2-0 lead. Not every game you'll be able to start that poorly and be up 2-0 before halftime, so the Rovers doing a good job to fix their defensive issues here and score a couple goals to give themselves a 2-0 lead. One off the head of Eli Gindo and another one off the foot of Matteo Polisi on a Panenka penalty just a couple minutes ago in minute number 37. Here is Marcelo Polisi. Finds Conor Glenn off a Timbers foot. Smitchenko just inside halfway.
If TSS can get a 3rd goal now, that's going to put this game to bed, you feel. But 2 goals in this league is easy to come back from. We've seen it so many times over the years, and as the subs start to come and players get tired, then that's when the other team become more dangerous. And Portland do have a lot of pace, but the last 20 minutes, they've barely crossed the halfway line.
Rovers team that is 2-2-1 all time against the Portland Timbers U23. Never lost to the Timbers here at Swangard. Couple of draws and a win here for them over the last 2 years in the USL League 2. They also snagged a win last year at McCulloch Stadium in Salem, Oregon. 2-0 victory. 2 goals as well from Daniel Sagno in that one. So the Timbers killer not here for this one. And here's Mcmillan. Finds Mark Baldissimo. Skips on by a challenge. Referee didn't like that one, so he'll blow it down. Here's Haynes now, quickly playing it for the Rovers. All the way back to Iligindo. Switches it to Danilo Smitchenko. Smitchenko, a great pickup last year from the Rovers in the Ukrainian U21 league, and then came right into the Rovers and didn't start a whole lot right away, but after he found his form, he was starting pretty much every game, and also got a goal. As here's a tackle on the far side. Glennon taken down heavily there.
I think the message from Will Cromack at half-time is just try and keep this going. If you can get a 3rd or a 4th goal and kind of put this to bed, it gives him the chance to not make the subs and keep these guys fresh for Sunday's game against Foothills, which already is shaping up, could be a very, very important divisional decider. In a 14-game USL League 2 season, you've got very little room for errors. I was speaking to Will Cromack about that before the season started. He says you can maybe lose 1 game and come back from it, but once you've lost 2, it's a long road back. We saw last season, Calgary Foothills won the division just with that 1 defeat, which was to TSS. If TSS could do the same, they'd be loving that.
Here's Haynes and left-footed ball, plays it to the top of the air for Conor Glenn, and he'll let one go, blocked by Michelson. Feel like you need to get that one into the area for Glenn, and he's dealing with handballs and nothing given from the referee. Mark Baldissimo now.
Don't think there was really anything in that one. Glennon's first half performance kind of deserves a goal. He's been really busy out there. He's had a couple of good opportunities.
Both him and Malamur as well have been very good. Nice ball. Speaking of which, Malamur and left wing into the area. Malamur on his left foot tried to cut it back and just kind of let it go there.
Away from him there. Just couldn't get any power to get the shot off, and then just weakly into the arms of Austin Rogers. Half-time fast approaching. If you want to know more about David Malamura, check out the feature piece and interview I had with him on the site this morning, AFTN.ca. You can read all about his journey to TSS and what he's hoping to achieve from this season and beyond.
Michael has the best time articles as well after The Guindo one coming out, the Malamur one after his 2 assists on Sunday. Has a knack for timing his articles perfectly. Well-written ones as well.
Or tardiness, because they were meant to come out earlier than they did. But as it turns out, it does now look fantastic timing.
Conor Glenn on the far side, closed down by Jesse Martin. Couple of step overs here from Glennon into the area. Glennon cuts it back, looking for the graph overlapping run. Crystal Michelson, who's dropped very deep into his own area here a couple of times to collect the ball.
Yeah, he's been all over the pitch. He's definitely been Portland's best player. He's a presence out there. Hard to miss with those flowing locks. But criticism from me for TSS is we've seen it with Mcmillan, we've seen it with Glenn in there. A couple of the guys are just holding on to the ball a little bit too much. They've got the 2 goals. I know they're buzzing, they're confident, they want to get some more, but you need to look up, you need to be aware of who's around you. If these guys want to go to this next level, that's something they have to have in the game. Selfishness is good sometimes, but you've got to be fully aware as to who is around you.
Lennon could not find a graph. Rocco Persa steps in. Speaking of a couple of players that have been good for the Rovers, Glennon Malamura as well as Matteo Polisi, and a guy who is named top 5 to watch in every position by USL2. A pretty high honor for the amount of players that are in this League 2, and lives up to the billing with a goal in this one and a penalty and a Panenka as well. And we've seen that so many times around the soccer world in North America and as well as Europe. Panenka has kind of made a comeback here, if you will. And it's pulled off for some players.
Not a fan.
Other times it is not.
There's maybe a time and a place if you want to do that, as we saw with Ali Adnan against
I didn't
LA
think you were going to
Galaxy.
bring that up, but you did. So.
Well, you can't talk about Panenkas in Vancouver and not talk about that disaster.
Speaking of Zlatan as well, scoring a Panenka earlier the week before that actually kind of made the headlines, but suspended for 2 games after an incident with Sean Johnson, the New York City FC goalkeeper. So he'll be out for a couple of next clashes.
He's been involved in a few little incidents so far this season. Charming off the pitch, so we got a chance to speak to him when he was here in Vancouver.
That was pretty cool. Bertrand Foray lets that one go off a Rover for a throw-in. Once again in front of those fans on the far side. Beautiful night. Can't go wrong here at Swangard. We don't think we've ever had a rainy game in the 16 games played here, this being number 16 at Swangard.
I was just about to say one thing TSS have to watch is a switch across here to Lucas Bueno, who's in acres of room, but didn't even get really much past the throw-in. And as we come into stoppage time now, TSS will be looking to try and get a killer third. 3-goal lead at half-time, you feel that is game over.
Michelson.
2, it's very much still up for grabs.
To Bueno, Haynes nicely through to Malamura on side once again. Malamura cuts it back to Haynes in the area, going down, and Rogers came out sublimely to get that ball. Marcelo Polisi to Mark Baldissimo as Rocco Persa goes down now for the Timbers. Michelson with a flying kick there to clear that one. And now Persa will be down, and that'll do it for the first half here. No added time at Swangard Stadium. 2-0 Rovers lead at halftime. Eli Guindo with a goal at 29th, and a penalty kick from Polisi has the Timbers up or down at 2-0 halftime here from Swangard. We'll be back.
We love you, Rovers. We do. We love you, Rovers. We do. Oh, Rovers, we love you. We love you, Rovers. We do. We love you, Rovers. We do. We love you, Rovers. We do. Oh, Rovers.
first half of the 29th minute. Number 19 is on the field for the Rovers. And in the 37th minute, number 10 Taylor Pelosi. Rovers sponsors still creating printing communication. Oral therapy. Toronto Cafe, U23 programs. Teacher boards. Audience on you guys look out for the game. Let's head down to the audience on the staff planning. Stay calm. Tell us. Watching the Kids Foundation. The great folks at Arthur Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, over next home game, May 19th, Sunday, 2 p.m. against Calgary Foothills.
Welcome back to Swangard Stadium. Second half between the Rovers and the Timbers starting shortly. Timbers down 2-0 in a hole at halftime. Goals by Ellie Guindo in the 29th minute. A free header in the box after a corner kick that kind of bounced around, and Guindo got his head to it, knocked it in to the back of the net. 1-0 Rovers at that point, and then in the 37th minute, Matteo Polisi put a Panenka penalty home to give the Rovers an extension, a 2-0 lead over the Timbers here in a crucial already second game. And Michael, we mentioned this, it is a 14-game season. You can't look too far ahead, but every game in this division counts. There's 6 teams. Every game counts. You play at least 2 games against every team, so you got to win it at least every home game if you can get a point out of them. And we talked about these 3-game homestands, how if you get at least 6 points, maybe 7, you're set for going on the road. And especially the Rovers have that late, once again every year they've had the late season stretch where they have to go on the road.
Schedule's really, really bad from a TSS point of view. Yet again, 6 of their first 8 games are at home. Then they've just got a massive chunk on the road. Getting these points on the board, that's what it's all about, because then you're forcing the other teams to play catch up. Then going on the road, just a draw here and there really, really helps. Portland could be one of the teams to watch out for this year. We just simply don't know. Calgary as well. So many of the Calgary squad have gone. Well, we'll talk about this on Sunday, but from what I initially saw, there's only 2 returning players, I think, for Calgary Foothills. But they've added so many players with PDL experience with Victoria Highlanders and guys that were really strong college players that we saw at the Nationals here from Cape Breton.
I think there's 3 or 4 of them on that team.
So they had a really strong pre-season as well. So you kind of feel that they're really going to be in the mix. And we're just looking now as Jordan Haynes took a tough tumble there, falling onto the athletics track that goes around Swangard Stadium.
That's not comfortable at all.
No, it looks like he was holding his shoulder a little bit and his head as he got up there.
So no changes at halftime for the Rovers as expected. I'm sure the next probably 15-20 minutes will tell the tale on how the substitutions go for head coach Will Cromack and the Rovers as they have the game on Sunday, as mentioned, against the Foothills at 2 p.m.
If you can get a third goal, I would maybe just ride this team out and see what you can do. Just make a couple of subs maybe for the last 10 minutes or so.
Here's Luciano Ciasolini. Scoop it up with Fourier closing him down here. Was a threat in the first half, but I think one of the main reasons he was because the Rovers were poor playing out of the back and allowed a few opportunities for Fourier to attack. Here's Michelson in midfield trying to thread it over the top. Good-looking ball for Jimenez. Falls down for Huret with a volley. That one didn't miss by much as he got the left foot under it. And Sebastian Huret with a nice volley just outside the area goes over the goal. Luciano Ciasolini, who did not even flinch at that one. Good eye on that ball for the keeper for the Rovers.
Nice break though there by Portland, starting this half the way they started the first. The TSS defenders were looking over at the linesman for a flag to go up, but it was clearly onside there. 3 players beat the offside trap, and you think having this shot was maybe not the best option there because there was a couple of passes inside that would maybe have been put away. But that should be a warning shot fired for TSS that they cannot be too complacent, because if the next goal falls to Portland, they're back in this.
Here's Polisi behind the defense, turning it past the defender of the Timbers. Lays it into the area for Mcmillan, just out of his reach. Polisi now finds Conor Glenn and step over top of the area. Clears a bit of space, so Michelson working onto his left foot, cuts it back. Lays it off for Marcelo Polisi. Nice little move to collect it to Baldissimo from distance. He'll let it go. Rogers to save. Big rebound in front. Polisi just had a jump over his foot as the Timbers try to break the other way. Here comes Sebastian Huret to the near side. Down the touchline, working it on his right foot, trying to play it over the top. Goes far side, nicely done. Jordan Haynes is there well, but ball goes off of a hand of a Timber and out of play. So it'll be a free kick for the Rovers here.
Play raging from end to end at the start of this second half. It's going to be tough to see these guys keep this pace up for the whole 45 minutes as we see Mark Baldissimo's shot there. Absolute cracker.
Rogers has to do better there.
Well, he kept it out. That's the main thing.
Ball came right into the area, though. It's a little bit dangerous from the keeper.
Yeah, well struck there by Baldissimo.
Yeah, he got the right arm under it rather than a two-fisted punch away, but Rogers eluded the goal-scoring opportunity there for the Rovers with the rebound, and thankfully the Timbers were able to clear just in time as they started a counterattack of note. Jonathan Jimenez, number 99 for the Timbers, coming in for Lucas Bueno, number 23 at halftime as Jimenez goes to a striker roll. Here's Baldissimo with a nice touch. Lays it off to Mcmillan. Rovers playing smartly here to start the half as a foul on Mcmillan, who goes down. That was the center back, Mikey Barrow, coming in as Michelson and Mcmillan coming together. Referee tells Mcmillan, should say Michelson, to walk away.
Baldissimo playing quite far up the pitch so far to start this second half. Don't know if that's just for the opening few minutes and if he'll go back to his DM role, but chance now from the set piece. Marcello Polisi is going to float this one in.
Polisi does have that good right foot on him. I think it's just a little too far though for him to have a crack. But judging by Rogers, pause for a moment. Here's DeGraff across goal. Rebound is there in front. Mcmillan and cleared away. Judging by Rogers' poor dealing with the rebound so far, Polisi thought about a crack, but he didn't. And the Rovers' good chance there is a foul just before halfway.
Great chance for TSS to put that one to bed there. I mean, well hit out wide by Polisi to DeGraff. Nice little first timer in the middle and just took a couple of touches off the Portland defenders there. Just Conor Mcmillan just could not get to it. But again, Olsen needs to be better there. He definitely looks like a bit of a weak link just now for this Timbers backline. If they can pepper some shots at him and follow up on the rebound, and they've got players fast enough to do that, including a couple on the bench that could really make an impact.
Rogers? You said Olsen.
Oh, yeah, I was leaning United. He was good.
Here's Rocco Pursa, chance and a little move there, carrying on to his left foot. Fourier again in offside position, was not able to pick up the loose ball. And a throw in upcoming here for the Timbers. Jesse Martin over to take it. The Timbers' second straight year they've played it in their home opener, or the season opener against the Rovers. Last year it was a tie. And opening the season on the road this year. And a tough place to play. Swangard, one of the more, probably the best venue in this division. Other two, well, the Timbers are at a high school field and a football field in Salem, Oregon, as Martin turns down nice in this left wing. Timbers moved from Providence Park in 2017. That's when Aaron Lewis took over as head coach. This is the third year in charge. As Michelson, a nice little move past DeGraff, and Malamurda recovers defensively. Doesn't concede the corner and gets it beautifully to Conor Mcmillan. Martin, though, recovers possession for Portland.
Martin's had a good start to the second half, been involved in a lot of stuff here for Portland.
A little bit farther tucked infield than he was in the first half. This one ball played over the top to Odette, and a good save by Trasolini. That's right, cut in behind. Trasolini again trying to play quickly for Mcmillan. He's got the pace there. Lopez will just head back awkwardly to Austin Rogers. Goalie out ahead quickly for Mikey Barrow. Looking for the distribution over the top, and that one goes out of play. The Timbers team last year, last in the USL League 2 Northwest Division. Not a year Aaron Rodgers was happy about after placing second the year before to Calgary. Losing in the playoffs. Malamur over the top towards Glennon. Gets a touch in there past Lopez. Falls from Mateo Polisi. Glennon carries on. Get the touch in there, but somehow Rodgers makes his save. And it's a goal kick here as Glennon stays down in front of the Swan Guardians. They're pleading for something. Glennon's been very lively for TSS in this one tonight. 52nd minute here as you see the ball come over the top. Glennon reaching out to get it there, but went off his foot and out of play. Good challenge by the keeper, Rogers, as well as the defender there in the vicinity. That was Simon Fitch to make sure that one didn't go in the back of the net for the Timbers and make it a 3-0 Rovers lead.
Still a lot of time left, though, for Portland to try and get in this. As we're saying, the next goal for them and the whole dynamic of this game changes, and Portland's certainly looking livelier to start the second half than they did for the last sort of half hour, really, of the first half. I think a key for them is to try and get Michelson involved more. He was so good in the opening 10-15 minutes. He was the guy that everything was going through. You
kind of see the first half that Michelson was... Mcmillan turns that one over. Polisi tries to get it back to Glennon. He does it halfway. Nicely played by Glennon, carrying on, moving past a couple of Timbers, trying to play it through for Malamur, and that one go to Tulio Mello as he misread that one. But Michelson a little more deeper in that first half, kind of collecting the ball inside his own area and clearing it. Now he's moved up to a more advanced role here, kind of attacking mid with the front three ahead of him, if you will, as the Timbers try and create some possession through Simon Fitch. Mikey Barrow. Back to Gerardo Lopez. It's Matteo Polisi furthest forward now. McMillan switches to the right wing, and Rovers a bit of a different look. And can't keep the same player's position for the full 90 here as the Rovers change it up. And it's looked good so far. As I said, that here comes Fourier behind, cuts it back, and that one off the foot of Haynes over the goal. As Pursa positioned perfectly for that one. And Jordan Haynes collecting defensively, plays it over the goal. Corner kick up coming here for the Timbers. I believe it's their second of the game.
Bit worried there when that hit Haynes' foot because it looked like it was going straight into the top of the net, but thankfully flew over, giving Timbers a corner now. Pushing hard to try and get a goal to get back in this.
Barrett to take, whips it in. Challenge the ball right in the hands of Luciano Traslini, and got to be happy for the guy. He's came through the Whitecaps residency, played at SFU, and was on the Rovers roster last year. Pause for that, Marona. Here comes Conor Glenn, and pulled down by Michelson. That's going to be yellow, as Crystal Michelson had nothing to do there, or had nothing else to do there besides pull the shirt of Conor Glenn, who did a great job to position that one. Here come the Rovers quickly. Referee didn't like how well it was played, as Eric DeGraff plays that one on to Rogers. Free kick for the Rovers upcoming here. Yellow card to Michelson.
Good thing for TSS, with Portland having to push so much as the game goes on. If it still stays at 2-0, they're going to leave a lot of gaps open at the back. That's what Lane did on Sunday, and they were punished sort of midway through the second half.
German Josh scoring the second goal, and another guy you have to be happy for. But I'll talk about Traslini, a guy who was at SFU #1 past couple of years, came into the Rovers last year, was injured coming into the season, didn't appear in a single minute of play as Andrew Hicks and Mario Gerges split the duties in net, as this one over the top from Jordan Haynes towards Smichenko, flicks that one on, and Rogers had to go off his knee again. The rebound control, not the greatest in the Timbers keeper, and Traslini coming in, getting the shutout on Sunday, USL League 2 save of the week, and how much confidence has that given him as he's kept the Timbers off the score sheet so far. Smichenko finds McMillan. Rovers, hard to say urgency at this point, but they are playing with the ball very quickly here.
They just need to knock the ball about, keep it away from Portland, just see it a bit of time.
Pristine pitch here at Swangard, was down there before, and just felt good, looked good. And credit to the City of Burnaby staff here for keeping this pitch in good condition over the off-season. Here comes Jimenez, as substitute, playing it low off the foot of Smichenko. That one will roll onto Traslini kindly. And as well, after Traslini was kind of playing third fiddle last year to Hicks and Gerges, and he now gets the opportunity with Hicks moving on, as well as Gerges, who's now in the first division in Egypt. Good signing for him, as well as Eric Edwardson moving on to 6th division of German football. Zach Verhoeven with Pacific FC in the CPL. So a lot of Rovers moving on, and speaking to Colin Elms about this, moving up to the next level, it's the whole platform, the idea of this Rovers team, the platform to the next level, and he's really happy with having those guys moved on. Nice to see Zach Verhoeven as well, so close to home and being able to watch his journey to the CPL. Here comes Glenn, a nice cut back to the top of the air. Left-footed shot, hits the bar. Falls to Malabur, and he's offside. What a strike from Glennon. He has looked so good tonight for the Rovers. He's not put a foot wrong, and Glennon cut that one back to his left foot, hit the bar there in a curling effort. As you see it here, Martin retreating. McMillan, should say Glennon cuts it back to his left, and what a strike. That would have been goal of the evening by far for the Rovers.
Great strike by Glennon there, very reminiscent of a goal that he just scored recently for Reno's Tigers in the Provincial Cup semi-final that put Reno's 2-1 ahead, and it was a lead that they never looked back from. He's got a great foot on him, and if they can give him some space like that, he's definitely going to test a lot of goalkeepers this year.
Haynes towards halfway. That one will be a throw in it here for the Portland Timbers, as Tulia Mello over to take it. And Aaron Lewis kind of put up a different game plan to start the second half here, more of a dimensional Timbers attack, but it has not yet proved fruitful. As Jimenez has kind of drawn out Eric DeGraff to this near side, but DeGraff has gotten forward so many times already. Timbers listless at the back right now. Smichenko lost it. Michelson with a half volley. That one's blocked by the Rovers, and here they come the other way. Matteo Polisi trying to find McMillan, the former UFE Cascade, and the guy who played in Sweden last year in the 4th division, trying to move his way up, comes back to the Rovers, and another one of those guys that didn't play last year but returns after year 1.
Did well in Sweden as well by all accounts, and he's had a little bit of interest in CPL. Thought he'd come back here, just put himself in the shop window, whether for Europe or over here in Canada. And if he keeps up performances like we've seen in week 1 and also tonight as well, busy, doing well, then he's certainly going to do himself the world of good.
Marcelo Polisi to the near side for Conor Glenn. A good overlapping run from Eric DeGraff. Glenn at the top of the area. Thought about the shot, leaves it off for DeGraff, and the touchdown leaves it back. Michelson again. Such good defensively positioning for Crystal Michelson. You see why he moved up to the next level. Didn't play again with Reno in the USL, but you just see him dropping back. Didn't go in for the tackle with Glennon, but just kind of kept moving forward there and made sure the ball was out of play.
Interesting, something TSS clearly working on is hitting the byline and cutting it back.
Yep.
Both the goals on Sunday came that way.
They have the pace and the delivery from the outside backs and DeGraff and Haynes to do so. As DeGraff's up for the corner, here's the left-footed ball in from Jordan Haynes, who was defensive midfielder on Sunday, now defender. This one flicked off the bar again, off the head of Mallory. Rebound is there for Gindo on the line. It goes in. Rovers lead 3-0. Not sure how, but I think it's Eli Gindo. And in the 60th minute,
Gindo.
it's 3-0 TSS in Dreamland over the Timbers.
Second crossbar in quick succession for TSS, but it didn't matter this time because Eli Gindo was on hand to poke that ball home. And at first it was hard to see if the ball had gone in because there was a ball down there on the outside of it, but we see it nicely flicked on by David Malamura. Unlucky to hit the bar, played back in.
Yeah,
Gindo for the second time tonight. Right place, right time, this time with his foot. Back of the net, 2-0. Or 2 goals for Eli Gindo, 3 goals for TSS Rovers.
And the pink smoke is off and running here as the Timbers immediately get up and start warming here as Bertrand Foray kicks it off quickly for the Timbers. And you felt like the Rovers were going to get something out of the great start to this second half. DeGraff with one opportunity. Glennon hit the bar. They hit the bar before off that corner kick, and it came right in front to Polisi, who put it back into the dangerous spot. And Eli Gindo, second of the night, third for the Rovers, and they lead 3-0. Here's another flick on chance for the Rovers to break. Matteo Polisi flicks it on to Glennon. Right there to Polisi, and a chance to shoot. Polisi scores!
What a goal!
Matteo Polisi jumps into the Swangardians. And my, if that previous goal wasn't good, that one was just as good, if not better. Rovers 4, Timbers 0.
Matteo Polisi, what a sweet strike, and you saw what it meant to him. Absolutely beautiful finish, but a really quick break all round. We'll just see that there now. Polisi heading it on to Conor Glenn, who has been outstanding. Back to Matteo Polisi, edge of the box, curls it into the top corner.
Polisi's second of the night. That's why he was rated top 5 forwards to watch in USL League 2. CPL interest, and my, Matteo Polisi is striking to the top corner net you could ever ask for. Rovers 4, Timbers 0 here in minute number 61 as Matteo Polisi, his second of the game. I believe it was in the same minute as well as Gindo's goal. But 2 for Gindo, 4 for the Rovers, as Polisi has 2 as well. Big goal for TSS, and sure the coach, Will Cromack, will have an eye on Sunday here. We'll see what he does as there's a sub looks about to come in now. Gurman Sanga, number 11. We'll wait for the official word.
Just talking to Colin Elms there, he just wanted to attract my attention to say he should have sacked himself a long time ago and put Will Cromack in charge. So working really well for Will Cromack. Colin Elms taking more of a back seat with TSS this year, kind of focusing more on the business side. Busy time for TSS Rovers as well. They've had an under-21 team in the VMSL under-21 league, won the under-21 cup in their first season in the league. 3 of those academy players on this TSS roster, with a 4th under-21 player as well, John Joseph, who's unfortunately injured. And now Polisi playing in.
Malamura puts it wide.
Just pulls it wide of the post there. So want David Malamura to get his first goal in TSS colours. He deserves it tonight, as does Conor Glenn, and both of those guys on the wing have terrorised this Timbers defence. And Timber down there just caught by the goalkeeper Rogers there as he was coming in. Writhing in pain just now on the goal line. That'll just delay things. Let everyone catch their breath back because the goals are coming thick and fast here at Swangard Stadium tonight.
And Aaron Lewis, if things weren't bad after the first half, they've gone from bad to worse, and then to even more so here after the Rovers get 2 in, say, a minute and a half here, and it's 4-0 Rovers.
Certainly looking at one of the most polished TSS Rovers performances in their 3 seasons in USL League 2, and it's been dominant. After the first 5 minutes where they were kind of hanging on and a little bit under the cosh again, they've turned it around, and this could get ugly because they're pushing for more goals. Goal difference could come into play at the end of the season. You want a confidence boost when the reigning PDL champs are coming to town on Sunday in Calgary Foothills. This is a statement from TSS Rovers tonight, and they're looking to add to it here as Jordan Haynes will whip another corner in. Can Ellie Guindo get on this and get a hat-trick? What a debut that would be for the big man.
Left-footed ball in from Haynes. Here's Haynes once again. 2 corner kick goals to the Rovers. Can they add another one? And again, David Malamura pushing the envelope here as Rogers punched that one away just in time. Marcelo Polisi quickly back to his brother Mateo. Down the flank, closed down quickly by Rocco Persa. Polisi into his left, plays it in. Good block by Persa. And I've lost count of corners here for the Rovers. I think that's number 13.
It's been absolutely dominant from TSS Rovers. In saying that, I mean, the scoreline's 4-0. It really easily could be 7-3. The chances that both teams have missed. There's been woodwork. There's been some really close calls, a couple of good saves. And there's going to be a triple substitution now for TSS Rovers. Coming on, the goal scorer from Sunday, Gurman Jaj, after this corner kick, which Marcello Polisi sends in.
Off the foot of McMillan, drops down for Haynes. He'll flick it on towards David Malamura. Got up for it, back to Smichenko. Top of the area for Malamura. To left side for Marcelo Polisi. Trying to get on by Martin. Drops it off to McMillan. On his right foot, cuts it back. Back to Polisi. Nice ball in the left wing. Polisi in the left foot. High riser. Drops down for his brother Mateo. In the area, Mateo getting past Jimenez, but good recovery by the substitute for the second half. Polisi carries onto the byline. Cuts it back across goal to Smichenko. Fourier with the half clearance. Now headed clear by Barrow. Intercepted by Glennon in this near side.
Portland just hanging on right now.
Baldissimo. Leaking boat here for the Timbers. Might be sunken with another goal by the Rovers here. They bring it down the right side. Glenn into the area. Cuts it back again for Malamura. Just puts it wide in his left foot. And now the Rovers will make those subs. Gurman Jaj, as well as Gurman Senga coming in. And Chris Guerrero for the Rovers. As Eric DeGraff, the first to come off. And we'll see Conor Mcmillan coming off as well.
And David Malamura, the third player coming off. What a shift all these guys have put in. Eric DeGraff at the start of the second half, he's got forward so well up this right wing. He's been a constant threat. David Malamura hitting the bar, coming close on a couple of occasions. He's going to watch this game tape back and think he should have been coming off with something from this one.
There's a couple of kids down to my left here playing catch with popcorn. The Timbers will have to catch up here, down by 4. 66 minutes gone. The Rovers in dreamland here. Most goals they've ever scored at home in their USL League 2 history, this being their 3rd year. Here's Chris Guerrero. And for them to be able to tear apart a Timbers backline that has been so good in years past. As Timur Zavidzi, a Rovers killer, about to come into the game for the Timbers here. Crystal Michelson comes out.
I was just about to make a comment on that because I've just been chatting with a couple of folk online who said that to them, Michelson is the guy that you want to get off because the senses that a red card is coming, and he is a guy that we've seen before. He lets frustration get the better of him, and a player like Matteo Polisi on the pitch is someone that can possibly wind him up and get that red card out of him, and there's no need to do that just now. He seems really pissed off on the sidelines here. He's not happy at all about being taken off.
So Jordan Haynes is out, and coming into the game, number 24, Nico Papriakopoulos. That's a tough one. I'm just going to call him Nico.
Or Papa.
Or Papa, there you go.
We'll go with Nico. It's Papakyriakopoulos.
Papriakopoulos, there you go. I'm not good with the names, so we'll see how this one goes.
Yeah, that was the sub I was dreading on Sunday.
Well, Cromack decided to change it up as well with 4 subs in the last couple of minutes here. And I'm sure that'll be with an eye on Sunday as Rahid Rahim warming up for the Rovers as well. Timur Zavidzi over this free kick for the Timbers. He'll put it towards goal. Trasolini in good position to make the save.
And you know for a fact that Trasolini is going to want a second clean sheet here. This is something that he's going to be very disappointed if he lets anything in, but TSS still pushing as well. They want more goals. This is what this team is all about. They're all out to impress. They want to give Will Cromack a massive headache. And now Gurman Sanga there, just almost keeping it in, it just runs out, but it's a nice problem to have. You've got all these players pushing for starting spots. It's difficult though, because you want to give all these players minutes, you want to see them have game time, but you don't want to change a team that's just destroyed Portland like this.
This is a Timbers team that has produced a lot of talent. To speak that about as Riley Pang comes in for Danilo Smichenko. Timbers have produced Eric Hurtado, Carlton Belmar, Colin Warner, and Emery Welshman, a few of those names that CPL Forge fans will know. So they're a program that have pushed on players to the next level as well. Foster Langsdorff, who is now with Timbers 2 as well, coming into this program, and Aaron Lewis gushing over his production, I guess you could say, earlier today on Twitter about Camden Riley, Langsdorff as well, Benji Michelle, and Siad Haji. To have two guys come up from U23 and play in the MLS within the same year shows well in the Timbers as well, a team that develops players really well. Michelle and Haji with the team for 2 years each, and good to see them move on to the next level.
The thing with this league, it's so entertaining. It's the future of so many leagues in North American soccer. If you haven't got out to games, wherever you're watching this around North America, get out and see your local USL2 team, because there's a lot of talent in here. So many of these guys get drafted in MLS, but now you've got guys playing USL, CPL, and it's talk about it being a great shop window. I mean, it just is. It's a bit of a cliche, but it's so true. These guys know. So many scouts, so many managers are watching this. It's your chance to go out and impress. And a lot of TSS Rovers players impressing tonight and on Sunday. For any Timbers fans watching this, just to give a little update, Tulio Melo there, subbed off, not looking in a good way. His ankle all bandaged with an ice pack on his foot and limping. So that's going to be something they're going to be watching for to make sure that he's good to go for the next couple of games.
Timbers visit the Highlanders on Sunday. 2 p.m. kickoff there, as you see Mello with the iced ankle.
Now a big game coming up for the Timbers. They do not want to get off to an 0-2 start. Yes, it's 2 tricky road trips to Canada. Yes, some of their players haven't been able to make the road trip to here. But you can't fall behind in this league. It's just one of those things. A lot of it's to do with momentum as well. You see teams, they've got the confidence, and then talked about it in the first half. TSS, if they can get 2 wins out of 2, 3 wins out of 3, then they've got a couple of road games coming up in Calgary. A draw from those games now is a fantastic result because they've got the points on the board at home.
Yeah, after this game, the time will tell with the Rovers in their next couple games. Is Rahid Rahim coming up, Matteo Polisi coming in. The Rovers have now used all their subs possible.
I mean, we talked about the weird schedule that TSS always seem to have every year. It's even weirder this year because after tonight, their next 3 matches, all against Calgary Foothills.
Yeah.
So these could be the division deciding matches. And to get them out of the way early in the season when your team is in top form and not fatigued with travel, this could be really good for TSS Rovers. And you've got a feeling, you don't want to tempt fate, but it does feel that this group has the confidence, has the skill, we've seen it in the games, to qualify for the postseason for the first time. Then after that, who knows? Interesting there as Matteo Polisi was getting taken off. Will Cromack, arm round his shoulder, giving him a pep talk. Matteo's a guy, he never wants to come off the pitch. He wants to play 90 minutes every single game, but obviously an eye to Sunday and resting him, and he's got that beautiful goal. I've had a few good goals of the season contenders so far. I think this could be another goal of the week contender though for TSS.
The Glennon one as well that hit the bar, that could have been just as good.
Remember, if you are watching this game on the stream and you want to get in touch over the last 17 minutes, shoot a message to us on Twitter at AFTN Canada. We'll have some post-game coverage for this up on the site, along with an interview with 2-goal scoring hero Eli Guindo. Interesting thing for TSS just now, both their centre-back pairings are attackers changed to centre-backs now. Because Riley Pang that came on was a winger, played with SFU Clan, made the switch last summer to UBC Thunderbirds and had an absolutely outstanding season in the defence for UBC Thunderbirds, playing centre-back, playing left-back.
Here come the Rovers again, left the ball into the area from Paparikakopoulos. That was close.
You're going to keep doing this until you get it.
As the throw-up coming for the Rovers here, Mark Baldissimo down moments ago, holding his back. He's up and he's good for the Rovers. Kind of a different-looking squad now with all those substitution, as Aaron Lewis is now taking a spot on the bench. Sanga off the legs of a Timber. Comes back to Lopez. He'll thump that one up. Mile high in the air. Fourier flicked on by Baldissimo. And here come the Rovers the other way. Rahid Rahim wants one at the top of the air. Good block as well as he goes down. But the Timbers try to bring it the other way. Good clearance by Marcelo Polisi halfway. And a free kick upcoming here for the Timbers. They want to take it quickly. German Jaj, the number 13 for the Rovers, in that far side wearing those bright orange boots. Such a great pickup by this Rovers team. A guy who was the main goal scorer at UFE Cascades this year, kind of replacing Conor Mcmillan as of 2 years ago.
Fantastic season, 13 goals on the year, got a hat-trick in one of the games, all-time season scoring record for the Cascades. It was a question going into this season, how would he be at this higher level? You got an answer on Sunday, one of his first touches off the ball in the back of the net. Can he build on that tonight? And the thing is, you've got Jazz, you've got Rahim on. They've seen what these other players, Glenn and Malamura Polisi, are doing. They now have to play out their skin to get a chance in this team and show that they're worthy of a starting spot.
Bad touch there by the left back, Mikey Barrow. Rahid Rahim will not keep this one in. And we've seen the previous 2 years, Michael, the Rovers have had depth. It just hasn't been where it's more been rotation rather than squad competition. So you like to see each guy chomping the bit to get there. You want to see Will Cromack having to take a leave for all the headaches he's going to have from rotation and playing players in different positions and wanting to have the best lineup possible for each game based on performance and goal scoring.
I'm pretty sure he's got his game plan and his lineup already picked out heading into Calgary, but you do wonder if tonight's performance is now going to make a little change in that.
Here comes German Sanga, top of the area, working on his right foot, overlapping run here by Paparikakopoulos. And move to the top of the area. Sanga lost the ball. Plays at Memphis Tigers, University of Memphis in Tennessee.
Had a good freshman year.
Yeah. Contributed with a couple goals, couple assists.
Whitecaps residency alumni. Few of them on this team.
Thrown to the far side for Paparikakopoulos.
A player the fans have a chant for. There's only one, Nico Papakyriakopoulos, and they're quite pleased about that.
I think I'm just going to call him Settle Down for Nico this season, because if he starts the game and he's on the ball a lot, I'm going to have a lot of problems. Here's Mikey Barrow. 14 minutes to play and change from Swangard. Rovers up 4-0 the Timbers, and not the start the Timbers wanted this year after last place finish in the USL League 2 last year. Only had 3 wins. And to be fair, Calgary was the above and beyond the best team in the division last year, even though the TSS Rovers beat them. But the gap between Calgary and Portland last year, double digits. Something that has rarely happened in USL League 2 with such a big gap between the first and sixth place team.
Certainly was a disappointing season for the Timbers, especially coming on the back of winning the division championship in 2017. And it's what happens when there's the turnover of staff or playing personnel as well. It's just hard to keep some momentum going. It's one of the good things from TSS. There's a number of players here now in their 3rd year with the team, and the guys, it means so much to the guys. I mean, you've got the Polisi brothers who could have played in a Provincial Cup final on Sunday but wanted to play in the home opener for TSS. This is what this team means to these players, and behind the goal you're hearing the Swangardians, you're seeing the smoke. It means so much to these people, and TSS Rovers have so many plans for this to be a community club, some community ownership. We talked about their under-21 team in the VMSL. They're also going to have an older team in the VMSL this coming season as well.
Chris Guerrero shoved the ball by Timur Zvidzi. Couple of goals all time against the Rovers. Nice ball through to Fourier. Gets taken out as he and Guindo come together. And Fourier took out Guindo, who got the worst of that one there. Fourier down as well as Guindo, but he is down in more of a heap than Fourier is. The referee comes over to talk to both of them.
Certainly don't want anything to happen to Eli Guindo after his great performance. 2 goals on the night.
Yeah, I'm not one to jinx anything, Michael, but to have the Rovers possibly able to keep a clean sheet the first 2 games of the season would be momentous in the not just the goal differential, but just the confidence for their defending, the goalkeeping, as well as Luciano Traslini expected to be the number 1, playing pretty much an Andrew Hicks-like 2017 where he played every minute of every game, barring injury. As the backup Patrick Hips, a TSS Academy player, not expected to play, but barring injury again. Here comes Glennon behind the defense. Glennon shoots and scores! Conor Glenn! 79th minutes, and it's a 5-0 TSS lead, their most ever goals in USL League 2 history in their 3 years in this league. And Conor Glenn, deservedly so, seeks home a 5th. Rovers 5, Timbers 0, 80th minute.
What time is it in Portland? It's 5 past Timbers. TSS Rovers running right here at Swangard Stadium. Conor Glenn finishing through the smoke there. The Swangardians had fired up the smoke. They were in the middle of doing their wonderful rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody there. Nice finish for Conor Glenn, and he's deserved it. He's worked so hard all night. He's hit the bar. He's had a couple of close calls. He's been really dangerous on the wing and given the Timbers a really torrid time out there. He deserved to go tonight, and he got it in some style there. 5-0. You just wonder how this one's going to finish now. This could end up even uglier than it is for Portland.
To say this is a dream for Timbers fans would be such an understatement. As I mentioned after the goal,
I don't think it's a dream for Timbers fans. It's
for
more a nightmare
TSS,
for Timbers
exactly.
fans.
For TSS fans, it might be dreamland, but for Timbers fans, an awful start to the year. And talking about a guy, Conor Glenn, who did get a goal last year with the Rovers, but didn't have a starting role as much as he would have liked. Great season at SFU, and it comes into this game. Great performance so far, and it didn't put a foot wrong, as I mentioned. Had an assist in the Polisi goal that made it 4-0 Rovers. This one deposits into the back of the net.
He's a great talent. Another guy that came through the Whitecaps residency program. Only spent a short time there, but he's definitely a talent. You can see the smoke coming across the pitch as well, as the Timbers now try and just salvage some pride from this one. Lovely ball whipped in there, but headed well clear. Oh, and fired in there.
Just over the goal by Timers Vidzi there, as the Timbers try to get something out of this game.
Jesse Martin's definitely been the best player in this half for the Timbers. The guy that's sent across in there. Rifled over, and it's going to be frustrating for the Timbers, but they have to pick themselves up quickly, because as you said, Gideon, they are now heading over to the island for a tough game against Victoria Highlanders, a team which we're still waiting to see just exactly what they're going to be like this year. There's a lot of change there as well.
A lot of late additions to that team kind of came in clumps to the announcements. They do have 4 former TSS Rovers on that team, though. As here's Chris Guerrero whipping that one in the air towards Gash. Again, drops down for Sanga in the air. Gurman Judge is there as well. Just out of the reach of Rahid Rahim as the Timbers try to bring it the other way. Baldissimo waited so patiently, did a beautiful job to get that ball. Here's Glennon. Goal and assist for him. Again, we'll see what kind of selection Will Cromack will go with on Sunday. I feel like every one of the players that started could play again, as though rotation will be a factor, but
I do have a feeling the fact that they've left Glennon on for the whole 90 that he might come off the bench on Sunday, but we'll see.
Gurman Sanga has proved problems for this Timbers backline with his pace.
Sanga was really good when he came off the bench on Sunday as well.
Marcelo Polisi rolls into the path of Rahid Rahim. Rovers can't get complacent, though, despite being up 5-0. Still lots of room to improve for Sunday's game and kind of continue on this success in this one and from Sunday against Lynn United. But again, if they're the 5-0 lead holds, first ever 2 straight wins to start the season for the TSS Rovers, which would be momentous in their trial for the next game, and playing, again, mentioned Calgary on Sunday. 2 p.m. kickoff, a big one. A couple of holdovers from the Foothills from last year's rosters. Most of them move out to Calvary, but again, we mentioned a lot of players who played in the last 2 national championships, youth sports from Cape Breton to Capers, and a couple of returnees who have played with their head coach Leon Hapgott. So see what kind of team they bring on Sunday. That'll be their second game of the year as they're in Victoria tonight.
couple of Scottish guys on Calgary this year. Ewan Bald, his mother Ma Bald on Twitter. We have a few chats back and forward. I'm sure she'll be watching that. We chatted to her during the Nationals at UBC when Cape Breton, very talented team.
Yeah, they are a deep team, and to see them all keep moving on to the next level together as well provides a lot of chemistry. As that ball did not go the way that Timbers wanted. Here come the Rovers the other way. German Jaj.
3-on-2 break.
Glennon ahead of him here. Nice ball from Jaj. Just a bit too hard on Glennon maybe, but he'll get there first. Glennon will try to put it back across goal, pardon me, and that one rolls out of play for a goal
Neither
kick.
a shot nor a cross there from Conor Glenn, but I mean he's full of confidence right now, so good luck to him. Just try anything, see what comes off. Another substitution coming up for Portland here as they make that. I just want to give a shout out. John O'Flynn has got in touch. He wants to give a shout out to Mountain United under-17 boys team for their hard work in the BC SPL this season. John O'Flynn, a good supporter of AFTN, always getting in touch with us during our radio shows on Sundays. And we're coming into the closing minutes now, so we're going to be close to coming up with our man of the match. Send your suggestions in as to who you think the man of the match is this evening. We've had a couple in already. Matteo Polisi, Conor Glenn in the running. Get in touch with us on Twitter at AFTN Canada with who you feel should be man of the match tonight.
I feel like there should be,
pick from.
yeah, I was going to say quite
Men
a
of the
few.
match, possibly.
Yeah, quite a few options for the Rovers in that regards, as Rocco Persa lost the ball to Raheem, but he'll carry on now. Marcelo Polisi, who's had an excellent game for the Rovers, hasn't factored in the scoring. Just as I say, that goes down here, holding his knee.
You also have Eli Guindo with his 2 goals in the running, but a couple of maybe defensive slip-ups. Oh,
Well, that's a chance in the far post for the Timbers. Moving in, what a block in front of the net there by Papriokoulos.
did that hit off the post? Because that just took a weird movement in the air there.
Thought it was a deflection. It could have been wrong again. We'll try and get the replay for you as that one's cleared away by Gerardo Lopez. Timbers look pretty organized for the first 10 minutes when the Rovers were under the cautious.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the
Timbers
thing.
yeah.
They've not exactly put in that bad a performance, and they're 5 goals down, but just see the ball whipped in here, and it did hit off the post.
Then this one was blocked by
Yeah.
Papriokoulos. What a block there with the youngster.
That just took such a weird deflection.
So whipped in by the Timbers up on the top of the area. Zavidzi knocked down, chance to drop on it for the Timbers. Still there, and a shot, and just wide. Trasolini watched that one just whistle out of his goal as he was down it regardless of where the ball was placed. But a nice touch by the substitute for the Timbers. Terrell Lowe. That was Camilo Avendano coming in a couple minutes ago. Goal kick for Trasolini. Rovers up by a score of 5-0. And yes, if you're looking at the scoreline or just watching, you heard me right. Most goals ever by a Rovers team, most margin. It would be a margin of victory, largest for them if they hold on to this and stop anything miraculous by the Timbers here.
What it does for the goal difference is fantastic as well. Already sitting +7 after 2 games. I mean, talked about this earlier in the half. This is a statement from this TSS Rovers team.
Yeah, it seemed that it sat on the bottom of the standings in their first year in 2017, and Jimenez is offside here, so he'll try and put one towards goal. He hit the post, but a Rovers team that contested the top of the standings last year, mentioned earlier, beat the Foothills, the only team to beat them last year in USL2 play. A couple of times they were top of the table with, I think, once 2 or 3 points clear of Calgary, and were unable to hold that as Calgary went on that 5-game win streak to end the year and then into the playoffs. So even the champions sometimes face adversity, and the Rovers are looking to retake the Foothills for supremacy in the USL League 2 Northwest Division. They're off to a good start, and they keep it going. Here comes Glenn in the right wing, trying to put it into the area. That one eludes Rahid Rahim and clear by the Timbers. Eli Guindo, pretty quick for a taller center back. Plays it to Trasolini. He'll play it up in the air. Chris Guerrero, normally left back, a left footer, playing right back here to Glenn and his SFU teammate. A lot of SFU players on the pitch now with Raheem, Glennon, Marcelo Polisi, Chris Guerrero.
There was 5 to start. I think we might still have 5 on. That's how many's in the squad.
German Jaj.
It should also be noted as well that not all of TSS players have arrived yet, and there's going to be a couple of additions made next week. Maybe even in time for Sunday, but probably next week the time the registrations go through.
Stay tuned for those as well.
adding to the attacking core as well. So that's
We'll not say too much, but yeah, let's.
going to be even more worrying. A very prolific college striker is going to be joining it, so we'll see.
Mark Baldissimo pushing the envelope. Nice ball to Raheem with some room. Raheem with a chance, and good block by Simon Fitch, who's moved from a midfield role to kind of a center back role into the second half as the Timbers try to stop the bleeding somehow, and I don't think any size Band-Aid would stop it. But the Rovers will take a throw into that far side to the right of the netminder, Austin Rogers. Rovers used all 6 of their subs here. And all 6 that have come on have looked very good, holding this lead and almost adding to it. Here's Josh, big hold-up striker. Slipped on the ball again on the athletic track there. He's okay, he'll get up. So look good for the Rovers. Add some depth to their striking core. Pretty much, I think him and Mcmillan might be similar in stature, but Josh has a couple inches on Mcmillan, so a little bit taller as well if he was to come on as he did today. Rovers will be a threat off set pieces this season. Already have 2 this evening at the Gindo goals. Here is Raheed. Raheem looking dangerous again. Pushed the envelope down inside the area. Tried the left-footed shot. He'll touch it back to a teammate. Here's Marcelo Polisi. Finding Raheem once again. Drifting it wide from that center midfield role. Carrying on. Looking onto the left foot again. Whips it into the area. Josh with the header. It's actually Sanga who takes it now and off the top of the goal. German Sanga with a little bit of danger there. Timbers not out of the woods yet. Pun intended there. 90th minute approaching.
I think it's going to be time now to make our call for AFTN man of the match. And who are you going for,
I think
Gideon?
I'm going to go Ellie Gindo. Held the forward at the back. Clean sheet as of right now. And 2 goals is nice, but I think the most important thing is the defensive cohesiveness and being able to hold this Portland team. It's been so good in years past attacking off the score sheet as of right now. And as good as Matteo Polisi is, I think he'll have better games this year. He may not score goals, but he'll create more. And I think Ellie Gindo will be the de facto man of the match.
Yeah, for me it's between Gindo and Glennon. You've gone with Gindo, we'll stick with Gindo.
Always like to rule against me, Mike. Yeah, it's good. That's what a commentary team needs, is this one thumped for by Ellie Gindo. Gerardo Lopez, who again, Timbers didn't really make a glaring mistake that led to any goals, just maybe positioning 1 or 2 times, and then the Rovers just some good team play. Especially the Glennon goal is a nice little 1-2 with Matteo Polisi. And then Glennon's goal is just a nice slide rule pass by, I believe it was Mark Baldissimo, through to him, and he slid home as Raheem drifts in onside. A couple of times tonight, Raheem has drifted in behind, and he's been dangerous as a sub. Again, didn't get a whole lot of starting roles last year, but Rovers bringing in players from last year, a total of 11 this year, the most they've ever had returning-wise. And it'll be good for chemistry as it's looked fruitful so far for Will Cromack and his squad. The GM/assistant coach the previous 2 years has stepped into the role this year with Colin Elms taking a step back. And nothing against Colin Elms here, but Will Cromack's first 2 Rovers teams looking pretty good. Still lots of time left in the season.
He
Here's
does co-own the business, it'd be nice.
Mikey Barrow finds Jesse Martin. Glennon pursuing her rather. That's Marcelo Polisi. Martin can't do anything here as Polisi chases him down. No room to clear now. He does. Would like to be a fly in the wall in the Timbers dressing room after this one here. We'll see what Aaron Lewis has to say.
I'm not sure I would. Not sure what you say to your team. They haven't played horribly, that's the thing. It's just like they've just been absolutely outplayed in times.
Rocco Persa towards the far post. Flick header across goal. Punch clear by Traslane. Still danger. Ellie Gindo with a good clearance. Here's Persa with a left-footed volley blocked well by Riley Pang, who has not had much thrown at him there. And first chance really for the Timbers directed at Riley Pang, who blocked it. Corner kick for the Timbers here. Haven't had too many in this game. Haven't threatened from it either. It's quickly taken by Timur Zvidzi, who's looked very quiet. Tumbled down by Paparyakoulos, and a corner kick, I should say free kick upcoming for the Timbers outside the Rovers area to the right of Traslane, about the 22-yard marker.
If you're looking for a good way to celebrate this victory for TSS Rovers, pick up a can or a case of Parallel 49 beer or lager. Parallel49brewing.com. This shirt sponsors off TSS Rovers. Check them out.
I know what I'm doing when I'm sleeping.
Yes.
Overnight flight, only
Back
1
from
hour
Hawaii.
sleep. Yeah, back from Hawaii, back in the...
Without any macadamia nuts for myself and Paul Peterson, the stats man.
Punch clear by Traslinic. Corner kick upcoming.
Really glad that was not a goal, because that
Yep.
would be in the highlights when talking about macadamia nuts.
And that
And
is
that's
the
the final
full-time
whistle.
whistle. Rovers with their biggest win all time in their 2 previous years, and this is their 3rd year of USL League 2 play, beating the Portland Timbers, a team they have had so many good battles with over the last couple of years. 5-0 the score here from Swangard Stadium. I want to thank Michael McCall for joining me on this one tonight. Goals in the 29th minute, Illy Guindo off a loose corner, or off a corner that was loose in the area. He headed it home. 37th minute, Matteo Polisi snuck it home for a 2-0 Rovers lead. On a Panenka penalty. After halftime, Rovers looked good, but they didn't get their 3rd goal of the match until 50 minutes after halftime in the 60th minutes. Illy Guindo, again, similar, almost a carbon copy of his first goal. Just in front, knotted it home. And he gave the Rovers a 3-0 lead. And if that wasn't enough, Matteo Polisi with a wonder strike on his left foot. I'm sure you'll see that one on the goals of the week for USL League 2, even after the Rovers won the one last week off the foot of Conor Mcmillan, a nice strike in the area. So that one was a beauty. And number 5 coming off the foot of Conor Glenn. Me and Michael mentioned it. Up to that point, had a great game. Had not scored in that one, and he deserved one and got an assist as well in the goal from Matteo Polisi prior. Rovers in Dreamland up 5-0. At that point, they would hold on. Only yellow cards, only cards in general in this game went to Christo Michelson in the 55th minute after a little clash with Marcelo Polisi. Timbers head to the island on Sunday to take on the Victoria Highlanders. 2 p.m. kickoff at Centennial Stadium. Listen to Arturo and Simon Falk on that one. But myself and Michael, another big one on Sunday as the Calgary Foothills come to town for the first of 3 here at Swangard. And then the next 2 next Friday and Sunday, May 24th and 26th in Calgary, as the Rovers look to continue their great start of the season, their best start of the season as well. Never won 2 straight to start the year, but they do here tonight. 2-0 on Sunday, 5-0 tonight as they go to celebrate with the Swangardians, and that will do it for me and Michael. Thank you for joining us once again. We'll talk to you Sunday, 2 p.m. Rovers take on the Foothills. Should be a dandy as the Foothills, the champion of last year in the USL League 2, come into hostile Swangard to take on the Rovers. Good night from Swangard, and we'll talk to you Sunday.